Hello again. I'm back with another clock to repair. This one is a Seiko Quartz clock. I found it on eBay. It was being offered as a non-working clock. It was going for just a few dollars. And although I am not a big fan of repairing quartz clocks, I really like the looks of this one. There are a few problems that you can run into trying to repair a quartz clock. One of them is the fact that when you look to pop open the back of it, if you're not careful, you can cause the gears to get knocked loose, and then it might be rather difficult to know exactly how they go back together. Another problem is because all the gears are made out of plastic, you'll find teeth on them have been worn or chipped off. Often you'll find what looks like dust in here, which really is worn plastic dust, and that can get in between the gears and also cause these to stop running. As I've got it in a non-working condition, the first thing I want to verify is that it in fact does not work. So I'm going to put a battery in. And because it's an alarm clock, let's see what happens when I dial it to the time that it's set for. Let me turn the alarm on, which I think is down. Guess we'll find out. Well, let me see, maybe it's the wrong way for off and on. There we go. So the alarm is working, and that tells me that the circuitry involved is intact. Because another problem that you can get with a quartz clock is the contacts that the battery makes with the terminals between the battery, where it's connected onto the little circuit board. Those contacts can wear off, and then you end up having the metal just touching plastic instead of the wiring. In any event, what I want to do is figure out how to open this up, and we'll see what's going on in here. So far, I'm seeing just 3 screws on the back, and they're kind of unusual. Sort of have a slot in the head, but let's see if I can remove them. That's a bit too big. As is that one. Well, these are stubborn, aren't they? Okay, let's try something different. Let's try one over here. Okay, this one's turning. Let's try this one again. Wow, they are tight. All right, give me a minute to remove these rather than have you watch me struggle with them, and then I'll continue. I've removed 2 of the 3 and loosened the 3rd one, but I put the battery back in because I thought that I heard the clock ticking when I was checking the alarm, and I want to see if you can hear it as well. But I definitely hear it ticking, which means something's working in there. I really can't say if that means that it's not working because there's an issue with the hands, but we'll find out once it's opened, I trust. Anyway, let me get the 3rd screw removed. Take the battery back out of here. And try to lift this out. I think I should try to remove the set knob here. Probably just pops off. Or not. Okay, let's not force anything yet. Okay, well, I'm going to have to figure out how this comes off of here. So let me take a closer look at it, and then I'll continue. I'm not seeing anything obvious to pop this off of here, so I'm just going to try to give it a good hard pull. Here we go. All right. Remove this. Okay. So this mechanism seems to be held in place by a couple of plastic clips. There's one here and here. I see 2 on the bottom here. But I can't really remove this because the hands are attached. And there must be a way to remove this front crystal so that I can take the hands off. The only other way to to open this, I see a couple of screws on the bottom, which I think is just what attaches this. But let me remove those and see what happens. Okay, there you go. So I'm still, oh, but there's more here, hang on. That's a solid heavy metal base. That's what weighs the whole clock down. Wow, look at that, okay. Still though, no access to the hands. So again, I'll take a closer look to see if there's a way to pop out the plastic in front of the hands. So let me work on that. I think I figured it out. There's a couple of openings on the bottom here, and if I slip in a screwdriver, I think it goes behind. You can see I'm in, and if I tilt it forwards, I'm pushing the plastic face out a little bit, and I'll bet you if I go in with another screwdriver, I might be able to just lift it out. Let me try loosening the other side as well. Okay. That's it. Now, usually the hands on these clocks just pop off rather easily. There's the second hand. That's a bit snug. There's the minute hand. Same thing for the hour hand now. There you go, not bad. And lastly, the alarm hand. Nice. Okay, now I can go back to seeing how to remove the whole quartz mechanism from here. I have to very carefully try to bend these little plastic tabs away, I believe, but I don't want to risk breaking them. So let me do some of that on my own because I'm going to go nice and slow. And once I think I have this ready to be removed, I'll continue. I was able to free up one of the tabs. I'll try to do it on the other and see if I can show the technique I came up with, but I'm placing a small screwdriver between the tab and the motor, and as I pry it back a little bit, I lift the whole thing up with this screwdriver. Whoop. There you go. Not bad. Didn't break anything. Okay. Next, I have to see exactly how this is going to come apart. And usually there are a few tabs on the side. Let's see if I can show them at all here. Looks like there's one over here. One over here. And a third one right there. And what you have to do, again with a small screwdriver, sort of pry in underneath it and just lift it up. But you have to sort of try to open all three of them and then carefully lift this plate out and hope to not disturb the arrangement of the gears. And that's something I'm going to be doing on my own. Once I actually have this free and I'm ready to remove it, then I'll continue. And just to try to explain how I'm going to be doing it, again, you need two screwdrivers. And what you'll do is place one of them by the clip. And as you're prying it away from the side with another screwdriver, you're going to come in on the edge of it to try to lift it open. so that once it's open, it's not going to snap back shut again. And that's what you have to do to all three sides. Anyway, let me get to work on that. I'm still working on it, but another tip I want to give you is, as you're freeing up all three sides, you really want to place this in a small little container that holds it up from the tabletop, because should this suddenly pop off as you're pressing down, you're going to be pushing on the stem here that holds the hands, and if that pushes up, it'll knock all the gears out of place. So by sitting it here, I can press down and there's no pressure being placed on this. Anyway, let me get back to work on it. Okay, I was able to free up the 4 clips. Very difficult indeed, but I want to try to lift, and let me zoom in so you can get a better look at it. And I'll try to lift up this back plate. Okay, first I'm going to start taking a few photos of this and then remove each gear so I have a good record of exactly how they go back together. And once I have that, then we can continue. I've taken my photos, let me zoom in again, and I have figured out how to take the gears apart. I also figured out why the clock's not running and why the clock is ticking. But as far as how you take these off, you have this one, and then this one, and this one. And if you look really closely at this gear, see if you can see if I'll focus on it here. Look at how many teeth are broken off of that. That's why it's not running. In fact, if you look closely down here, right here is a little piece of, there it is, piece of the broken tooth from the gear. And as far as what makes it run is this little magnetic gear that's over here. When the current goes through it, that's what rotates. If I put a battery in here now, well, the alarm's working. But you can see how it's working. The little gear's rotating, and that's what makes these quartz clocks run. So what I have to try to do is see if I do have some extra parts from various other quartz clocks that stopped working over the years. If I can come across a part like this in one of them, I may be able to replace this and get this working again. Otherwise, I'm going to be hard-pressed to find this exact quartz setup to put back in here. So let me see what I can come up with. Well, unfortunately, I'm unable to come up with a gear that exactly matches this one. So my options now are to, one, I'm going to look to reassemble it, because I like the looks of this clock enough that I wouldn't mind if it's put back together and sitting on a shelf somewhere. It looks that good. And secondly, if I'm fortunate enough to come across another one like this, I might be able to get a usable part to fix this one. Although what you find very often with a clock of this type that's not working and you get another one that's not working, it very easily could be the same exact problem. They both could have the same broken gear. Anyway, let's see about putting this back together. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay. That goes there. This one goes here. And this one. Okay, now I pop on the top. goes together a lot more easily than it came out. Okay, let's get it back in here. Not bad. You can place the set knob back on. Next, oh, it fell out. Okay, let's try that again. Well, it's definitely locked in down here. Okay, now it's in. Next, I'm going to reseat the hands. First, the alarm hand. Okay. And then the hour hand. Actually, the black faces front, I believe. And then the minute hand. And lastly, the second hand. And next I'm going to work on putting the plastic front piece back on. I'm hoping it just snaps in easily here. Maybe the top goes in first. There we go. And now the base. Is that the correct screw or not? Which one do I have here? Yeah, that's it. Oh, wait. This has to be attached. There we go. Next, the back plate. Oh, I put the set knob back on too soon. Okay. Let me tighten up these 3 screws on my own and then I'll continue. I've secured the 3 screws, and next I'm going to reseat the battery cover. And overall, I think it's a pretty cool looking clock. The lucite cleaned up nicely, even though it's all plastic, has a real good shine to it. And it's unfortunate that it's not running, but it's going to look good up on a shelf somewhere. And that pretty much is it. We have a Seiko Quartz alarm clock, and hopefully one of these days, if I can come up with the proper parts, I'll be able to make a part 2 video and get it working. That pretty much wraps things up. Bye for now.